Good evening, everybody. This video here is just to let everybody know that next week sometime I'm going to have an upcoming debate with this. As you can see in the title, I describe him as an arrogant amateur. Amateur. I already forgot his name. It's something with an L. I'm going to play the video and I'll remember it. Something with an L, but we can just call him arrogant amateur because he's trying to debate me on, are Christians persecuted in America in 2022? So it's going to be a slaughter. I don't know. He's going to be like a sacrificial goat or something that I'm going to have to sacrifice to make an example of. Not to get so arrogant. And it says in the scriptures, pride comes before the fall. So a haughty spirit will lead you to a downfall. And this guy, what I'll say about him is he's witty. He's got some good one-liners. He's funny. He should be a comedian, but he's definitely not going to be a scholar if he's going to try to argue that Christians are being persecuted in America. So what I want to do, because I challenged him to a debate during the show and he conveniently didn't answer for 45 minutes until the show was over, and I hung around, and thankfully I did, because then, like, when it was just like a couple people, me, him, and the host, he finally got the courage because he knew nobody else was watching, and he decided, like, yes, now I can finally act brave and maybe I can talk my way out of this debate. So he tried, and he failed because he tried to act. Unfortunately, I tried to join the stream earlier on, but I had technical audio issues for whatever reason on StreamYard. I don't know. I mean, I obviously closed all my browsers and stuff like that because I know how that goes. But yeah, we're gonna have a debate next week on this channel, Paradigm Shift TV 314. And if you haven't heard of it, it's like Sonetta. It's similar to like a Sonetta platform where you have debates and just builds during the week. It's a really good channel. I just subscribed to it because I ran into it from watching Vocab Malone on there, and I liked the way the moderator handled the situation, and I liked his logic and just the guy's style. So I subscribed because of that. And then I was just randomly on there today because I saw, I'm subscribed, and I saw, a guy's name that I've seen before on Sonetta, Chris Harris. And I was like, oh, let me check this out. Because I don't like the Chris Harris guy at all. He blasphemizes God. He used to be a fake Hebrew Israelite, and now he's all mad because he wasted time. I don't know how many years of his life, being a fake Hebrew Israelite, but now he's, whatever, against God. He's ripping up the Bible. He's ripping up the Torah in debates, just to make a show. Like, this is what I think of the Torah. When he's having a debate, he takes it that far, and he'll say F God. He'll say F, and I ain't going to say God's name after it, but he'll say F him. And, so I don't like the Chris Harris dude. So I really went on his channel tonight, Paradigm Shift TV 314's channel, just to, check out what Chris Harris was on there for. And I saw, because it said Chris Harris will battle Christians, like open panel. So I was going to go on there and ask Chris Harris some questions, but then I saw the title of it was, are Christians being persecuted in 2022 or today or whatever? And I said, no, Christians aren't being persecuted today. So I thought it was like a skillfully made title by Chris Harris, so he didn't really have to answer questions. But there was this guy on there, like I said, I call him the arrogant amateur because that's what I'm going to expose him for. And, his name's Leonardo or something like that. We're going to check out. I'm going to do a little reaction video because the host was definitely helping me out because he saw that this guy was, not willing to engage with what I was saying. And, he kept posting my comments. So the guy, waited to the end of the show to get the heart to answer it finally. But I'm making this video just so people know that, I'm ready to debate. Obviously you need time to prepare for a debate if you want to put on a good debate. Everybody that's ever debated knows that much. So, you want to have a week or at least a few days to prepare so you can go in there and you're not just freestyle talking, but you're showing people factual information too. And that's why you want time to prepare for a debate, because the good debaters aren't just going to be freestyle talking, but they're going to be showing you factual information. They're going to be showing you history. They're gonna do it all for you, and that's what I'm going to do to this guy. I'm going to take him through, step 1 through step 100. I don't want to give away too much what I'm going to do in the debate, because obviously any good debater will counter what I'm going to tell them. So, it's kind of like we're going into a UFC match. I'm not going to tell him, I'm going to go for a chokehold in round 1 so he can defend it. But, I'm feeling generous, so I'll give him a couple little tidbits of how I'm going to abuse him. But, like I said, I'm not going to give him it all. But, anyways, we're going to do a little reaction video to him on Paradigm Shift TV 314. And if you haven't checked out the channel, I encourage you to just subscribe, because if you like conscious content, you're going to learn. He's, got all sorts of people on there. He's got comedic people, Christians, Hebrew Israelites, atheists, whomever, people of all ideologies and backgrounds. And not only that, the guy's just a cool guy. He runs his channel well. He's very level-headed. If you go over there and you want to hit the stream and join a stream, he's more than generous with allowing people to come onto his streams and have a voice. So, you can go over there and voice your opinions if you agree or disagree, or you just want to get some, information out. And then there's also, the fact that, he has competent people on there like Vocab Malone and, some other people, some like even Chris Harris, which I don't agree with what Chris Harris does, but, he's a pretty big name. But what we'll see today is the guy I'm labeling an arrogant amateur, who I'm going to, dismantle sometime next week. As long as this guy doesn't back out, you have my word, God willing. And, as Christians, we're always supposed to say God willing, but God willing, as long as I'm still here on the planet Earth, I look forward to dismantling this arrogant amateur in a week on Paradigm Shift TV 314. I really wish I could have, got on the stream tonight because of technical issues, because I was commenting and then they asked me like, hey, come on, man, hit the link, because they were straw manning things I was saying in the chat, which if you're not familiar with what a straw man is, that's when you take what somebody says and then you make a false equivalency and then you start attacking that. So that's what this guy did. And that's what he's going to try to do in the debate too, because it's clear that's how his mind thinks. So I can't force my mind to think like, make a straw man argument about a person. So if this guy's mind is even capable of thinking to make a straw man argument, he's already in serious trouble, because he's only going to deceive fools. He's not going to deceive anybody with logic and, scholarly, mindset. And obviously, people saw through that, because he was, unable to answer my questions during the show because he had to straw man them. So clearly, when it comes time for a question and answer in a debate, I really look forward to seeing how he's going to react to some of the questions I have. Because, boy, I would love to hear how he's going to explain how are Christians being persecuted in America. And it seems like he might be a lawyer or something like that. The way he was like talking and acting like he's going to break things down, it seems like, he might be a lawyer, or who knows. I don't know, something of the sort. But that seemed to be the way he was thinking, But yeah, let's take a look at this guy, and also I'll take you to Paradigm Shift TV 314, and this is the channel. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you like and subscribe some videos. But yeah, he's based out of, I think, St. Louis or the Midwest somewhere. But again, this is a really long video. As you can see, it's 3 hours, 43 minutes. We're not going to watch the whole video, clearly. I don't even know what point I jumped on. I watched it probably for an hour and a half. Again, we're not going to watch all that either. I'll just give you a quick, synopsis. And yeah, the main premise of this video and why I'm doing this video is because I know what people do. They claim they want to debate, but then when you actually like have to debate people, like a lot of people, forget that they said that. So I just want to remind this guy, whatever his name is, hopefully, like I said, I'm making this video for you, arrogant amateur. So I'm going to make sure you see it if I'm capable.
All right, we are live.
But let me get get to the point of the show here where the arrogant amateur's at. All right. Where I come into. Oh, there he is. Look at him. He was insulting how I look all the time, but he wears a ponytail. Isn't that ironic? You know, somebody that wants to, you know, because I'm white, so this is a black platform that he's on, so you know he can cater to the audience with like white guy jokes. But you know, look at him. He's literally got a bun in his hair. It's almost as if he's a female, but it's not a female. I don't think it's a transgender or anything. I'm pretty sure this is a male. I'm going to debate. So again, you know, he wanted to have slick talk when I couldn't respond and I was in the chat, but now you know, I can actually talk. Ironically, when I stop this stream, you know, randomly at this point, we get to look at him and we can tell he's got his ponytail bun tied very tightly. So hopefully he loosens it for the debate so his brain cells aren't so you know, unable to have the synapses trigger like they need to when it's time to think, because I think his ponytail was too tight and you know, the electrical current wasn't getting into his brain for his brain synapses to trigger. So maybe part of his brain was dead or something. But let's try to get his name too, so I don't just call him arrogant amateur the whole time. We do want to see. The problem was he didn't have like a name tag thing. Like I have Ryan Apologetics up here for people to see. He didn't have that, so it's like Leonardo or something. But look, he's got a decent haircut on the side, I guess. Let's give him credit there, right? That ponytail is holding steady though. All right. What happened here? Chris Harris is there. He is there. I am. See, here we are. Now now we can see I'm on the stream. All right. So let's play a little bit and start seeing. Like I said, the host really blessed me and you know, showed a lot of my comments because he saw that Mr. Leonardo or whatever his name is was, you know, consciously ignoring all my comments. So let's just listen a little, then I'll pause and react. But again, this is just to make sure Mr. Ponytail doesn't go anywhere. So let's check it out real quick.
That we need to reinstitute. So so when Justin came to power, Justin persecuted Christians, even though Christians were the majority in the empire.
Okay. So this is where the guy gives me a straw man. Let's go back a little because I want to show him where he made me a straw man too. Because I commented and said something, and then this jerk created a straw man on what I said. So let's go back so he understands and he can factually see how his mind inaccurately thinks already before the debate, so I can help him prepare for our debate.
Then they did spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands. So they beat him up and spit on him, saying, prophesy on
of the month, what we see taking place that night.
Apologetics dude is keeps coming.
Yeah, Hebrew Israelite. He's a white boy. He's a Hebrew Israelite. And, you know,
Okay. Well,
this random dude, I don't know what he was thinking, but he said I'm a white dude and I'm a Hebrew Israelite. He must not have looked at my channel very good, but he apologized for it at the end, so that's fine. But again, when he comments here, I'd have to go back in the tape to see if I think he had to he didn't have to have posted it, because he posted most of my comments, because obviously we can't see all the comments. We can only see the comments that the moderator put on the screen. But I'm going to try to remember, you know, exactly what I said when he says this, because I know he adds a word into what I said. And that's why I tell him he created a straw man. But maybe it's even posted on the screen to show you guys too. So let's hear what he says here.
You know, it's making perfect sense, but it's funny, and just another response to him. He keeps going for the same thing that I've probably refuted like 7 times now. The fact of saying that there's a majority does not mean, and I gave a classic example from the Roman Empire. Julian the Apostate was emperor at the time where Christians were the majority.
Okay, there it is. This guy just makes up in his head that I said anywhere in what I was saying in my comments that Christians, because they're the majority, can't be persecuted. Now that is just a complete straw man. So let's try to see some of the comments that I put on the screen here, because I want you guys to see, you know, what a liar or how delusional this guy is. Okay, so here's one of my comments, because I never said that, because here it is right here. Look, this is it, people. Let's show you what a straw man is. This guy said, I said, this Leonardo cat with the ponytail that was affecting his electrical brain current. Look, he said, I said that because you're a majority, you can't be persecuted. Now let's read what I actually said. I said, there's 330 million people in America. You can't use one lawsuit or 100 lawsuits to prove Christians are being persecuted. That's like saying one Christian got murdered and trying to argue genocide. So you tell me if I said that being the majority, because this is the only comment I made that was referencing the population of America and, the size of the Christian population. What I actually said here before he decided to change my question so he could actually sound credible when he responded, because he was sounding so silly up here while he was trying to argue that Christians are being persecuted today. He said, I said there's 330 million people in America. You can't use one lawsuit or 100 lawsuits. So he was talking about the Master P Bakery. So I said you can't use one lawsuit to point to that. But I elaborated and said you can't use or 100 lawsuits to prove to him, like, I understand you'll have more than one, my friend, but even 100 out of a population of 330 million people in America, which, if you know the population of Christianity in America, it is, I just Googled it after this show, so I won't act like I knew it beforehand, but it's literally 230 million to 250 million people in America are Christians. So that right there, that's one of the little, freebies I'm going to give you, ponytail guy. I call you Leonardo or arrogant amateur, whatever your name is. There's literally 230 to 250 million Christians in America. So what I was saying is you can't keep arguing that one lawsuit or 100 lawsuits proves anything, because that doesn't prove Christians are being persecuted. Because I think we all took math class and we know what percentages are. So if I were to start taking what 1%, one in 230 is, or 1 in 250 is, and started doing percentages, I think we all realize how little of a percentage that is. And even if he had 100, excuse me, I just misspoke greatly. 1 in 250 million, not 250, 250 million. I'm sorry. Maybe I have a ponytail on my head. Let me check. Wow, I almost felt like I had a ponytail there for a second, the way I misspoke there. Okay, I didn't have my ponytail. That's just a sickness he's inflicted with. But anyways, imagine the percentage, which I will get for him in the debate when I bring out a calculator to show him the numbers and to show the audience the numbers, which I hope this doesn't scare him away from debating, because that's not the point of this. The point of this is for him to honor his word, because at the end of the show, I'm going to show you that he says, book it. And I think he sounded like he was a lawyer. So I think that almost sounds like a contract to me. So I want to make sure that everybody sees this verbal contract that he put out. Maybe if, he doesn't show up, I can sue him for, emotional distress or something, because he, hurt my soul so much that I wasn't able to embarrass him on how silly he sounds. But this right here is what I was saying when he finally gets on at 146 and strawmans it. So here you go, ponytail boy, Leonardo, arrogant amateur. You strawmanned me. You claim you didn't, but here it is. I didn't say, how can the majority be persecuted? Which is what you say when you get on. You must be slow. This is what I said. There's 330 million people in America. You can't use one lawsuit or 100 lawsuits to prove Christians are being persecuted. That's like saying one Christian got murdered and trying to argue genocide. So let's let it play a little, because I kind of try to teach him before he, puts his foot in his mouth, which we'll go back to at 146. But everybody can see right here, he's going to lie about what I said. He's going to say, I said, how can the majority be persecuted, when I never said that. And it's not prior in the video, and it's not, anywhere else in the comments I actually wrote that aren't put on the screen. I'd give anybody $100 if they could find it. $1,000, whatever they want. If they can find me saying how I said, how can a majority be persecuted? Because I never said it. So if he has a Cash App, he can find that if it's on the screen in this whole video, and I'll send him $1,000. So let's see if he wants to do that. But let's let it play a little just so we can see a couple more things I said to try to help this guy out.
Both. Yeah. Both. Okay, let me be more specific. Did the Judaic laws at that time allow him to make a change in their Mosaic code?
Did the Judaic laws of that time allow him
to make changes in the law? Yeah, allow them to make changes in the law and things like that. Allow him to make Passover dinner.
And if you're wondering, that guy in the middle at the top, that's Chris Harris. He's a real arrogant, silly guy himself. I'd love to debate him at some point too. He had the nerve to try to act like, I couldn't debate his ponytail buddy. So if Chris Harris ever wants to find a subject me and him can debate on, I'd love to debate him on some sort of, biblical subject or Christianity. What he always wants to do is, speak blasphemy because he's ignorant and, basically bury himself on the way to hell. But, he doesn't know it because he's ignorant. So I'd like to try to help him in a debate, because I could prove a bunch of, truths to him throughout the Bible, and then he could learn and, maybe fix what he's got going on in his life. Because he just wants to keep going to Google and, Googling some historical stuff and, just go real backwards in his methodology. So I'd like to help him. If me and him could figure out a debate topic, he can definitely get it too. But if you're wondering who's talking, that's Chris Harris in the upper middle.
You asked me Judaic laws. No, I'm asking. I'm clarity.
The Judaic code, where it spoke like, if we read Matthew 26.
Not helping me do anything. Where's the charge? I'm trying to charge my freaking phone.
Oh, damn.
Somebody, who in trouble? Who in trouble?
Whoever it is, I don't want no smoke. I'm telling you right now.
Look, I was about to get up off of here real quick. No, what I'm asking is, when I read Matthew 26, I see two things going on here, right? I see one, they're giving him a fair trial.
See, the host knows I'm trying to help this guy. The host, so you can see the title on the bottom of the screen scrolling, and you'll see it, are Christians being persecuted? And the host knows I'm trying to help this ponytail guy, but for some reason, because Chris Harris isn't arguing this, ponytail boy is. But arrogant amateur, he's coming. He's coming on the screen soon. So the host, I think, is trying to help him out because he sees that I'm trying to give the guy the information, but for some reason he's dull to it. So let's continue on.
I feel like they're giving him a fair trial according to the Mosaic code. They are giving him a fair trial.
Tell Bianchi he's gonna have to edit that part, bro.
I wouldn't say they gave him a fair trial, only in the fact of it. Again, this is me just going off a straight memory right here. So
you know
if
what?
I'm wrong,
What? Like I said, I don't want to waste too much time watching this. Let's just go to where ponytail boy, arrogant amateur, strawmans my argument, because like we all saw, I never said anything about how a majority could be persecuted, but that's how his brain had to lie and process the question. So let's see how he strawmans me, just so you can put this in your files and record it. Ponytail boy, this is what a straw man is by definition. Exactly what you do here. And again, you could go through the entire show and try to find where I said, how can a majority be persecuted? And if you could do so, you could drop your Cash App like Chris Harris, and I'll send you $1,000. So you could do that.
Apologetics dude is keeps coming.
Yeah, Hebrew Israelite. He's a white boy. He's a Hebrew Israelite. And,
okay. It's making perfect sense, but it's funny, and just another response to him. He keeps going for the same thing that I've probably refuted like 7 times now. The fact that saying that there's a majority does not mean, and I gave a classic.
I don't know if that's a pencil in his hand or some sort of hair bun thing, or it might be how your girlfriend she has those hair bands around her wrist all the time and stuff. I don't know if that's what is in his hand or if it's some sort of pencil. I don't know.
Example from the Roman Empire. Julian the Apostate was emperor at the time where Christians were.
You know what he might do? He might do like what some Asian chicks do, because he looks like he's half Asian, half black. So I think he might be taking those pencils and putting them in his ponytail. And that's why he has two pencils in his hand and not one, because we know if you're going to write, you only need one pencil. But he's got the two pencils in his hand, so he's probably putting the pencils in his ponytail or something to go out to the bar and do stuff,
The majority. As a matter of fact, this is the rise of.
Hold on, we gotta rewind to see those two pencils, because like I said, if there was only one pencil, then he would be writing with it. But since there's two pencils, he's probably putting it in that ponytail. I'm just curious now if he's putting those pencils in his ponytail or not. Oh, sorry. Shouldn't have gone full screen there. A little harder to navigate. We'll go back. This is just an instant replay to see if he's got two pencils or one pencil now. Because I think the two pencils is for his ponytail. I've never had a ponytail, but I've seen Asian women do it, and he looks half Asian, so I think that's probably why he does it.
Apologetics. Dude, this keeps coming.
Yeah, Hebrew Israelite. He's a white boy. He's a Hebrew Israelite. And,
Okay. Well, you know it's making perfect sense, but it's funny, and just another response to him. He keeps going for the same thing.
Look. I think I see two. Let me see if I can get a pause going. No, he's just got something on the pencil. I don't know what he's got on his pencil. I've never seen somebody do this. This is strange. If anybody can figure out what this guy put on his pencil, tell me, because I've never put anything on my pencil like that. Let's try to figure it out.
Probably refuted like 7 times now. The fact that you're saying that there's a.
What is that? I'm not seeing things, right? I mean, he's moving it around so fast. I wish I could put this in slow motion, but hey, maybe one of you guys could put this on your cell phone and put it in slow motion or something. And if anybody can figure out, put it in the comments what he's got on that pencil. Again, like I thought it was for his ponytail, but it might be, who knows? Somebody try to figure that out. Please put it in the comments if you do. But let's listen to him lie and strawman me. Or maybe he's just, like I said, got the ponytail too tight where this electricity isn't snapping for his brain synapses. So he just, couldn't read properly. Let's listen to how he lies and says how I said that if you're the majority, you can't be persecuted, when really what I was showing him is if you're the significant majority, one case or even 100 cases out of 250 million doesn't prove persecution, which is a point I'll drive home to him in the debate, but we'll see if he shows up. This is just a precursor to it if he does. This is an appetizer for him. You know how Applebee's gives people like, get an appetizer free if you do a, $20 dinner or something, or 2 dinners. This is his free appetizer. So Leonardo, or whatever your name is, maybe somebody will say it right, during the video, and we'll remember it. Besides, that distinguishable ponytail, because like if you shot somebody and the police came, I'd say it was the guy with the ponytail. I wouldn't really care what your name is. And the weird pencil, I'd say the guy with the ponytail and the weird pencil. But anyways, let's listen to him lie.
Majority does not mean, and I gave a classic example from the Roman Empire. Julian the Apostate was emperor at the time where Christians were the majority. As a matter of fact, this is The Rise of Christianity by Rodney Stark. It's cognitive scientist here, but what he does is he compares various different numbers of.
Look, he showed a book. And don't you notice, I want everybody to notice, when people are trying to sound smart on TV and they sit in front of a bunch of books, notice this is what that guy, Leonardo or whatever, does. I mean, you can't see it too great right now, but it looks like he went to the public library or something to sit behind a bookshelf so he would look smart. So that's another tactic this guy has. I don't know. He must have set up a bookshelf in his house. So when he goes on, the internet, he could sit in front of the bookshelf because he saw a bunch of people do it on TV before. So he figures that's what smart people do. They sit in front of a bunch of books. But right here, look, he's pulling up a book and showing us like factual historical information, how he's responding to a question that I didn't even ask or a statement that I didn't even make. This is impressive. Let's get this breakdown.
By the year 350, there were 33,822,008 Christians, about 56.5% of the population. But that does not mean that when Justin, the apostate, came to power later, that Christians didn't face persecution, because it happened. So this goofy response, and again, I'm calling it goofy because it's only goofy now because I probably responded about 7 times now. That because you're not the majority doesn't mean that you can't face persecution. Again, and I can just give
what's the dates on Justin the apostate? Is that what you said his name? What's the dates on that?
I don't know. He's I think either late or early 5th century. Hang on, I got a thing of the Roman emperors. 1 second.
There it is. We got a good look at it now. Let's look. Look, he found a bookshelf in his house with a bunch of books on it, which, you know, every time we see people that sit in front of all these bookshelves, we all know they didn't read all these books, right? I mean, it's funny. You see like a politician or somebody go on MSNBC or CNN or Fox News, and they're always sitting in front of the bookshelves. And, you know, that's like the classic, I'm smart, I've read all these books move. But we know they've never read all these books. So I like this guy's, you know, personality as far as he realizes he's just like those con men and those politicians that like to con people and lie. And he said, let me make a bookshelf in my house where I could sit and I can try to trick people into thinking I read all these books and I'm super smart. So big ups to him on that. I hope everybody, you know, catches these details like I try to do.
No, if he's 5th century, then I would agree. Yeah, then Christianity would have probably been the major religion in that realm because of the Constantine, the many creeds that were established then. So yeah, I would agree with that. But why were they being persecuted, if you don't mind me asking? Why were they being persecuted?
Well, when Justin came to power, Justin was a pagan. Justin was not a Christian, and so the reason that he was persecuted is because he was a pagan. The Roman Empire was like most other nations.
See, when the stream first started, he was talking to Chris Harris about some historical stuff, and he was talking so confidently about the stuff. I really was, I think, just confused that I thought he was a scholar, because I at first wanted like to get the guy's name because I was going to follow him on YouTube, this Leonardo ponytail guy. I was pretty impressed, like, because he answers Chris Harris's questions so confidently. But now I just think, because the way he strawmanned me and the way he, you know, just totally lied, I think he might just be one of those people that pathologically lies. So you know how smart people say, like, I don't know the answer to a question, but a pathological liar will just like make up a complete fabricated lie with excessive detail. I think that's what this guy does, you know. So he might not know something, but he'll be like, oh yeah, he'll be emperor in 79 AD, and you know he was under the constitutional revolt of the Maccabean you know, revolution, and then when pagan societies came in, and you know they had a revolution again, and you know blah 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 blah, you know, his heir on the throne was, you know, and he'll just make up a bunch of shit that he didn't know. And then if Alex Trebek was still alive, God rest his soul, he'd say, you know, that answer isn't correct. And you know, unfortunately, I didn't know this when I first started watching the show, so I was actually tricked by his, you know, deceivingly, you know, arrogant confidence. And you know, let's listen to how he, you know, just spews shit, because it seems like he's really confident in his own lies.
Nations in existence up until this point in time now. Most nations, their religion was tied wholeheartedly to what they saw as the progress of the nation. So the same reason why Christians...
Oh, okay. See, Chris Harris is a fellow liar, so now he's just, you know, stating a complete speculatory, you know, statement that he can't justify at all. See, when you listen to him, you can realize like he's just making stuff up. Like he just said most nations are, you know, tied to the religion of the time that leads them. Like, okay, that sounds good, you know, but how do you prove that? How do you have like actual tangible data to prove that? You know, that's just a complete speculation. Like every nation might not have had a religion. A lot of nations that, you know, were driven by things, were driven by rogue dictators. So you can't tell me all these rogue dictators like Genghis Khan and other massive, leaders, were just driven by their religion. No, they may have been driven by colonialism, just power, just brute force, like so many factors. But he just spews that, around the time of Jesus and the beginning of, the Roman Empire there, that, most nations were driven by their religion. And then Chris Harris, the guy in the middle who's a fellow, liar, says, yeah, that's correct, because you can't prove it at all. So you might as well spew it out. And then somebody else who does the same thing might as well agree with it.
Christians face prosecution very, 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 very early on, because the Romans were under the impression that that the reason that it was happening was because there were Christians, and the Christians had violated the state gods. They wouldn't worship the state gods, the imperial cult, that sort of thing. So
see, the host. This is why I really would like to do a debate on this guy's channel, because I saw him moderate the Vocab Malone debate, and he was more than fair. His name is DMG to Profit, and yeah, he was more than fair with Vocab Malone and ISUPK guy, something 10K, Captain 10K, Gabar or something. But yeah, he was really, treating me very fairly in here and posting my comments. So, he shows like I'm responding saying, you just made something up, bro. I didn't say anything about being the majority, gives you immunity. That's easily, prove false. Why would I make that statement? Why would I say, like, because straight people are the majority that, they can't get STDs or something? Like, why would I say that? Like, it makes no sense. Like, of course I didn't say that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He just wanted to sound smart because he couldn't answer what I actually said, which the host put on the TV to put him on the spot. Because if he had to answer what I actually said, which he will have to do in the debate, because he agrees to this debate, and we're going to go to that soon, because I don't want this video to be too long, with me just being, overly critiquing him and stuff, but, he is going to have to answer this in the debate, because you'll see when other people leave the stream, see how there's 6 people on the stream. Like, when it's down to just me, him, and the host, he'll finally get his, bravery up.
So when Justin came to power, that was one of the things that Justin thought, that we needed,
That's fast forward though, while he's trying to read to, plagiarize some information. That's because the host posts me saying a lot of things where I'm challenging him to a debate, and he just ignores it to the end of the show. So we'll show a little bit of that, but then we'll just go to the end of the show just so everybody sees that this guy, Leonardo or whatever his name is, I'll have to get his name right at some point, but I'll have to hear somebody say it again because I forgot.
The reinstitute. So when Justin came to power, Justin persecuted Christians, even though.
All right. Well, this is when I tried to join. This is when I tried to join, and the sound was just all fucked up, so I could never really get to say anything because the sound got all fucked up. So it's pretty pointless to show you. But I tried multiple times, and the sound just didn't work.
Apology, but go ahead.
Everybody go on mute and just let them say what you gotta say.
We don't accept your apology, but go ahead.
Well, you're making up false arguments, man. You're lucky we got these technical issues, because all you like to do, it seems, is like make up a straw man. All you like to do, it seems, is like make up a straw man.
Hey,
nah, bro, that's too bad. That's real bad, bro.
It's too bad, man.
Yeah, we can't go through this show like that.
I told y'all the ancestors not having it.
hey, listen.
Yeah, so you could see, I couldn't talk because the technical issues. So that was actually good timing, because I did try to log on a couple times, but we kept having issues. The host kept letting me back on. But, of course, he's going to get really bold afterwards. It's a black channel, predominantly. So they're saying the ancestors weren't having it because, I'm a white guy on a black. Well, it's not a black channel. It's predominantly, black people, but it's all races, as you can see. Vocab Below is on there. He's going to let me on there, hopefully. And, he's already allowed me to. It's just if my opponent here, Ponytail Boy, decides to show up or not. We're going to get him on record, though. Like I said, he seems like he's, maybe a lawyer of some sort or into law, studying law. So we're gonna see that verbal like contract at the end where he says he's gonna debate me. We're gonna go to that next because I won't bother showing you the rest of the stuff that I was posting and he was just ignoring.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I put the grill in some image of your liking.
Slim Shady doing?
I don't fight samurais, man. Y'all got swords and long. Let me be honest with you.
Right.
You know, I'm the first person to say it's one race and it's the human race. If you cut me,
not want to bake their cake and they felt a certain way.
Okay.
So you can hear the host right there saying, one race, human race. So the host is really fair, man. I encourage everybody to, like and subscribe to his channel. Go over there, check it out. If you're into stuff like Sonetta TV, any other consciousness TV, debate show platforms, go over to, this channel. We should definitely support it. He's on the come up, he's starting out now and, he's a very good guy. I definitely, only God is good, but he's a very fair guy. That's what I'll say. And you can see here, I'm saying it ain't hard to tell that this guy accepted my debate because I tried to get this guy. We can see here, this is 2 hours and 26 minutes into 3 hours and 43 minutes. I couldn't get this guy. I've been trying. So I'm saying this now, and I was probably saying it 15, 20 minutes before this too. It took this guy about an hour and a half because he wouldn't accept my debate. So luckily I hung around to the end of the show and he finally, just out of pure pressure of me embarrassing him by asking him over and over again, please debate me. You said this, please debate me. He finally got the courage. It's almost like he was the straw man, and the tin man in the Wizard of Oz at the same time. He made up lies. So he was the straw man. And it's also like he's, the lion too. I think I might just call him the Wizard of Oz because he's the straw man because he makes up arguments. He's the tin man because he didn't have any heart because it took him so long, like literally an hour and a half. Like if somebody was challenging me in the comments like this to debate something that I was already on a show trying to argue like he is, I would have just said to that person the first time they said something like, yeah, let's do it. Debate. Set it up, talk to the host, me and you, because I'm on the show. Like he's on the show. You can see at the bottom of the screen, are Christians being persecuted in 2022? That's his whole reason for being on this show. He's trying to argue with Chris Harris that they are. For some reason, his brain came up with this concept, and that's why it's the title. And because the host said, Christians come and challenge Chris Harris. This ponytail, arrogant amateur guy, decided to make up this title, Christians are being persecuted in 2022. And I was like, that's ridiculous. So I'm going to have fun destroying him on this topic. And, he finally agreed after like an hour and a half of me, like finally, begging him and the host, like telling him like, hey man, look, because, again, if somebody did this to me, if I'm on a show and I'm defending the Trinity, and then there's some sucker in the comments and they come up and they say, hey, will you debate me on this or whatever? And it's the Trinity, which I'm actually explaining. I'll say, sure, set it up. Right after I'm done beating the person I'm doing it at the moment, I got you, buddy. But, this guy obviously knew I wasn't a sucker, so he was afraid. Like the fear kept him from answering. And I think what he hoped was I would just go away. He was like, well, maybe if I'm lucky, he'll just stop watching the show or he'll have mercy on me and stop asking. But instead, I said, no, I'm going to keep asking and embarrassing you. But I did like get tired of like embarrassing him in front of his friends and stuff. So I kind of felt bad. And I even said it in the comments, but they even posted it and embarrassed him more by showing me saying that. So,
So the Supreme Court, high score in the land, completely disagrees with your construction. His reason for denying baking the cake was because he's a Christian.
the answer is yes, bro. It don't matter if it's one or two or three of them, even though we can name more, but based off the title Christians, that's just
no, two. It's not are there Christians being that's no. You just said are there Christians being persecuted in America. No, that's not.
Let me say something. Real
The
quick.
name of it is "Are Christians Being Persecuted in America?"
Yeah.
Are there Christians being persecuted? That's not the name of it.
Let me say something real quick.
My game now. I'm not playing no video games right now.
See,
I'm trying to
this-
give a closing statement here.
No,
You can see my comment. This is after like probably 30 minutes of me asking him to debate, and he's seeing the comments because, you know, when you're watching a stream, you have it on your TV or whatever, and you see the comments, especially when they're posted on the screen. You might not see all the comments in the chat, but you definitely see these ones that are posted on the screen. So I'm saying I'm beating a dead body at this point, so I'll let him live because I actually felt bad at this point. So it was like half hour, 40 minutes of me saying like, debate me, debate me, debate me. And this guy just would talk about everything except say, yeah, I'll debate this guy. He wanted to talk real fast after, you know, I had the technical issues on how he would handle me and set me straight and all these things. So that's why I said, oh yeah, okay, let's debate. Because he talked real fast after my technical issues when I tried to come on and tell him how he strawmanned me, because he said, yeah, I'm going to look in the comments for where you said that. And of course, he never found that. But again, we're not playing the whole show. So let's go to the end of the show because we see that, you know, the host is showing him that, you know, I want to debate you. I've said it for 40 minutes. He's conveniently ignoring it, even though this is the subject he's on the show. Let's go to the end of the show where he buries himself and, you know, says he'll finally debate me, which is not until it's just me, him, and the host. So it's not even yet because there's still another witness and he's going to wait till it's, you know, I guess he was really hoping I would just leave by now. And I'm trying to get him to debate this title here. So I'll show this is the title I want the debate to be. And I've already sent the email to the host of the channel. So this is the title that we want the debate to be.
Specifics and talking to every single person. Anytime we do surveys, you take a sample. What I've given today, and this is how, like I would ask this gentleman, you ever been to school? And I mean like grade school. Because what I always have to do is give a sample. I cannot physically list off every single incident of every single case that has ever existed, or every single case that's ever taken place in the year 2022. What I'm always going to do is give a sample, which leads to a necessary conclusion. What you need to do is refute that, okay? Because just like if I was going to do statistics, unless I'm doing a census where I'm going to take a measure of all people, I'm going to be doing a survey, and the survey is where I take a sample, and then this gives me an indication of a larger group of people. So when I say Americans favor the president, 47% of Americans approve of the job that Joe Biden is doing. Pianki, have you ever personally been asked, have you approved of Joe Biden's job? Anybody ever knocked on your door and asked you that?
They have.
Okay. And so did they do the same thing to everybody else in your neighborhood?
They did not.
Did they do the same thing to everybody in your household?
No.
So, and what always happens is in these cases, you take a sample. This dude does not understand how a survey is done. And so when I give a survey, when I show a picture of persecution, it indicates a larger thing. And he talked about, so one person dies from choking on a golf club. People are choking on golf clubs. Well, yes, that's what that means. Yeah.
Do you see how his logic is, how he's going to try to, you know, represent Christians are being persecuted? So like he didn't even blink when I put this on the screen because his brain, like I said, is probably not working properly because of the ponytail. So he really thinks that he's going to be able to prove that Christians are being persecuted if he shows like a sample, like he says, of, you know, 5 people, 10 people. He thinks that's going to prove that 230 to 250 million people are being persecuted. So I'm going to show him that he's going to show me a sample of 10 people. And then I'm going to show him the population of 249,999,900 and what was it? 990? Did I say 10 people or did I say 50? I don't know how much credit I gave him. I'm stumbling here because I don't know how much credit I gave him. Is he going to show me 50 people or 10 people? Well, either way, if he does show me 100 people that say, I'm going to show him that the other 249,999,900 aren't getting persecuted. So see how he confidently and arrogantly thinks that because I'm trying to help him before the debate. I'm trying to help him. This is me trying to help him, family. I'm trying to have mercy because I'm a merciful Christian. You know, I'm trying to practice what I'm supposed to do through my faith. And honestly, I'm not doing the greatest because I'm kind of trash talking them because you guys didn't get to see it. But because I wasn't on the stream and I couldn't defend myself verbally, you know, he could talk wild. You know, he was calling me all sorts of racial insults. You know, I'm Jim Carrey, I'm Chris Hansen, or you know, he called me every white guy that's ever lived, essentially. So he insulted me as I'm every white guy that ever lived. But you know, he was throwing out those racial insults and making a bunch of jokes. So that's why I just had to you know, give him a little bit back here so he understands that, you know, I'm not going to just be sitting there not being able to respond. But when I actually can talk, my friend, it's not going to be as fun. So you're going to have a question and answer with me, and your brilliance and arrogance is going to be put to the test. So again, he doesn't understand that when I say, so one person dies from choking on a golf club, and I write people are choking on golf clubs, that's a plural word at the end where it says golf clubs, meaning more than one person died. So he answered confidently and arrogantly, like if this was, like he said, math class, like if I had ever been to math class, this is like one of those analytical math questions. Like I used to take them in like third grade or fifth grade. Like they would not to brag, but they just to tell the truth, they take the smarter kids in the school and we do these like analytical math questions where you'd get like 6 questions and they weren't just normal arithmetic, but you'd have to think. You'd have to actually think before you answer the question. And he didn't do that here. He didn't think, because if he did think, what he'd see is I said people are choking on golf clubs. And people also doesn't mean one person either. That's just referring to, you know, people. I guess he can make people one if he really wants, but golf clubs obviously is 2, right? I mean, can one person choke on 2 golf clubs when I just told him that the person choked on a golf club? So if one person choked on a golf club, like it says right there, a golf club, and I say people are choking on golf clubs, that would mean there has to be at least 2. But let's listen to his answer. Let's listen to his answer because he was confident. So this is what we're going to use against him in the debate, family. We're going to use his own stupidity. It's really more arrogance than stupidity, but just listen to how confident he is in his stupidity. Let's go back just a little bit here. It's pain to go back when the video is this long. So go back just a little bit here. Let's listen to how confident he is. And they call him the samurai because, like I said, I think he's half Asian, half black. That's why he's known as the samurai. Maybe it's that or the ponytail. I don't know.
They did not.
Did they do the same thing to everybody in your household?
No.
So, and what always happens is in these cases, you take a sample. This dude does not understand how a survey is done. And so when I give a survey, when I show a picture of persecution, it indicates a larger thing. And he talked about, so one person dies from choking on a golf club. People are choking on golf clubs. Well, yes, that's what that means. Yeah.
He should have sat and thought. But look, the guy on the stream with them is laughing. This guy down here who thought I was a Hebrew Israelite is laughing because he didn't think either. So this guy just confidently reads it, doesn't let his brain synapses, you know, trigger because the ponytail's choking him out. And what's he say? Yes, but no, you got it wrong, my friend, because the word clubs and one person choking on a golf club would mean no. The answer to that question is confidently no, but you answered yes. So I hope in the debate, when I ask him questions, like there's a question and answer round in the debate that we have, because this is a really good panel where you get to have good amount of time and you get to really rebuttal the person. I hope when I ask him questions in the question and answer round, he doesn't die on his own sword like this and answer so quickly and arrogantly. I mean, I'll give him, 30 seconds to think and respond before he responds. So I hope he does that. Leonardo, or I got to get his name right at some point. I wish they just had it on the screen, but like I said, I called him arrogant amateur in this video. So I guess for now we'll just stick with that, or ponytail guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what that means.
Somebody talk on it.
Yeah.
Notice, people, the bookshelf did not help him answer that question. I don't think he had a book in the shelf that could have helped him with that math question there. That you shouldn't answer yes to that. He must not have bought my book.
That's exactly what that means. If I say people voted for Kanye West, that's not a statement.
Notice the host scratched his head. That's a sign of stress. Then he puts his hand on the chin. I'm not a body language expert, but that's a man thinking. As we've seen the sculpture of the man thinking, you know, he's got his hand on his chin after. So he scratches his head because he's seeing his friend here, Mr. Samurai, confidently and arrogantly rush into battle when I can tell he's thinking about how he just answered, and he's thinking, wow, really? Is that the position he's going to take in this debate, that Christians are getting persecuted? Does he really want to do that?
Statement about the general. It's not a statement about the majority. It's not the statement about the majority. It's not a statement about all of them. It's not a universal affirmative. And this is why you can't do the stuff you're doing.
Why? How y'all don't get what he's saying, man? Like, come on, bro. Why we gotta repeat it?
Ryan 747, I'm gonna do you a solid, man. As a fellow YouTube, I'm gonna do you a solid. Because I stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to. That's why Leondre ain't never got an opportunity to drown me. So
we got his name. It's Leondre. I apologize. So it's like DeAndre, but Leondre. I won't mess it up again. Leondre. It's almost like Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle. You know, I'm thinking of, you know, the Ninja Turtle Leonardo, because I think the pencil reminded me of, you know, I don't know, the Donatello had the baton stick. You know, his name is the Samurai, so I was kind of in that realm. But it was also the ponytail reminds me of like the female concubines in Asia. And, you know, his ponytail and the pencils definitely make me think of, you know, the female concubines. But Leondre, okay. See, the host knows that this guy is smart and he can debate and he's witty. So when you're witty, you can trick people in the audience who aren't scholars, you know, so you can deceive people when you're, you know, you're funny and you're witty, especially if you're going to play the race card, which he's going to do versus me, because you guys didn't get to see it, but he was spewing all sorts of racial shit towards me. So we'll let the rest of this video play, but the host is trying to say, like, you know, if I don't want to debate him, I don't have to, but, you know, I'm more than willing to debate him. So I definitely keep begging for this debate to occur, but I want to get to the point where he makes sure.
Within a few sentences, typing with him on Facebook.
I just say all humans have two legs. Okay.
Here we are. You see, after the you know, advice the host gave me, what I'm saying set this shit up, because I'm getting tired of this guy. He's called me all sorts of racial slurs and pissing me off.
So you know, I'm sorry if this is your first time, but you know, Chris Matthews, you can come on, Steve.
There you go. You hear the racial slurs? Let's let it ride out. But look at me continuing to say, let's set a date. Let's stop the talking and set a date. You'll see, family. Go ahead.
And you can like respond to what I say. So Dirk Nowitzki, I'm looking forward to you listening and responding accordingly. So
see how everybody's so smart when you're not there to talk back to them. Do you notice that? Like, I mean, even me right now, obviously I'm going to appear smarter because he's not here to talk back, but do you notice how, you know, he can say all those racial things like, you know, Dirk Nowitzki, Chris Hansen, blah, blah, blah. You know, okay, bookshelf man, continue. As you see, I'm begging you to debate. And now it's at 3 hours and 26 minutes. So it's been literally, we'll have to rewind the tape, but I think I started begging him to debate me an hour and a half prior. So around 2 hours. It's taken him about an hour and a half, and you can see most of the people are no longer there. So he didn't get his wish. I know he probably was holding his breath like, please let this guy leave. But no, I didn't leave. I hung around because I really did want to prove you're an idiot on the subject. And I'm hoping that this video encourages you to step into the ring so I can sacrifice you like a goat and, you know, heal the people and let people know on this channel that you just wasted their time tonight. Whatever they could have done with their, I believe, Friday night. Let me make sure what it was. It was a Friday night. Yeah, it was Friday night, and you were spewing this inaccurate information. So I just wanted to make sure that the people didn't waste their Friday night listening to your lies, and that's why I was there. I was the voice of reason and the voice of truth, and that's why the host kept posting me and my comments so that the people could understand that they knew that you were wrong, but I wasn't there to debate you that night because of my technical issues. And obviously we didn't prepare for a debate tonight, but when I do prepare, he's going to get annihilated. It's not going to be close. I'm not going to give him anything because, like I said, I'm feeling somewhat generous. So I'm giving him this like public warning right now. This is like a little taste of how he's going to get dissected if he pays attention to the fact that I know he talks fast and it might trick some people, but you can't hustle a hustler. So he doesn't fool me when he just sounds good. I actually listen to what he says. So let's keep going here.
Bianchi set it up. I'm done, Rem.
Hey, Leondre.
Okay, he finally did it. He finally did it. That's Leondre. Congratulations. 3 hours and 26 minutes in. He agreed. He agreed to debate me 3 hours and 26 minutes in. Wow. We're going to have to go back to see what I started asking him because I just want to see how long and how many messages the host had to, see, the host is happy because he's got a debate channel. So he's obviously been somewhat, not instigating it, but, he's been putting the comments on the screen because he hears this guy talking and he knows he's spewing lies to his viewers. And no host wants that. No host wants their guests to be spewing nonsense. So, of course, when there's somebody reasonable in the chat that could set the guy spewing lies straight, you're going to put his comments on the screen just because deep down you want your audience to be edified. You don't want them to get dumber when they watch your conscious community show. So, the host finally got his wish, Well, I got my wish. The host obviously is just going to be entertained by the fact that, Samurai here gets edified again. But, his viewers will be the real winners here. So I'm not going to, it's like when the Warriors just won the finals yesterday. Steve Kerr didn't want to take much of the credit. I'm not going to take much of the credit. I'll give the credit to God, and then I'll give the credit to the viewers because they're the real winners out there. When I embarrass this Leondre cat on this subject that he chose to bring up, which it just shows like if he's going to write like a thesis paper or something, how terrible his due diligence is. Like, why would you ever bring up a subject of all the subjects in the world? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, they said Chris Harris was on this channel so Christians could just like bring up anything. And this guy chose this ridiculous, pathetic title that, Christians are being persecuted in 2022. And he's talking about in America. I don't know, man. I mean, the only thing he was talking about on the show was Master P's business has been sued multiple times for trying to not baking a cake for gay people. And I was just like, wow, that's really what you got for persecution of Christians. And I can rebuttal it right now, but I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to show you in a week what the rebuttal is to that question. I'm going to let him try to fix it before the debate and not mention it. But if he's silly and, he's as delusional as he was tonight, and if he does have the audacity and the arrogance and the nerve to bring up the Master P cake situation again, I'm going to rebuttal it because I already have an answer. But like I said, I'm not going to make his job that easy. I might let him hang himself. So if he wants to bring up the Master P cake incident as an example of Christians being persecuted again, I'm gonna answer it for him.
This just remind me of a conversation that I had that in turn reminded me of when I told my brother that he said, snakes and donkeys didn't talk. And then you said, Bianchi, you reasonable. So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Say, human beings are animals. I said, yeah. Correct. You said, do human beings talk?
Everybody
We don't accept your apology, but go ahead.
Everybody go on mute and just.
God to look like you.
Man, God can look like whoever he wants. Be like, oh no, I don't worship you all. I don't bow down to you people.
Here it is. So yeah, I was just seeing how long it took him to finally accept the debate. Okay, so you can see I'm challenging him here. So right here, we can see the time. It's 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 14 seconds. And he did not say yes, even though the host posted about, I can't even tell you, 20 of my comments on the channel for the next hour and 22 minutes. See, I can do math, my friend. You didn't accept till 3:26. That's the first time. When you just heard him say, yeah, let's do this, that's the first time you heard the word, yes, I will debate Ryan Apologetics come out of his mouth. He didn't say it until then. So it took him an hour and 22 minutes of the host relentlessly. Imagine, it's like the host was taunting him. I mean, if you watch this video, family, you're going to see the host was taunting him. I mean, I don't want to spend the whole hour showing it, but the host was taunting him. He'd post everything I commented. I was so thankful. I was like, wow, what a gracious host this guy is. He really wants to, you know, accommodate me because I'm in the chat, but he's showing this DeAndre guy everything I'm saying. So, like I said, I tried to come on. I had technical issues. So, you know, we had to, you know, go back to the comment section. I tried to hit the link to address it like a man right then, but, you know, the technical side was a mess. So I tried multiple times and it didn't work. So here you can see I challenge him, and it took him an hour and 22 minutes of, you know, relentless comments. If one of you watches it and you want to go through and count how many comments the host posts of mine from this point at 2:04 to the time he finally accepts at 3:26, please feel free to do so, because, you know, the host probably posted, I think, 20 of my comments. See, every time I just fast forward and randomly stop, you'll probably see another one of my comments on the screen. But I don't know. Anyway, so this is the Samurai Leondre. I don't want to make this video too long. Like I said, I apologize for being a little disrespectful and, you know, not perfectly Christian. But here I'm just giving him one last warning here, but he's probably not going to heed it. Again, family, let's appreciate the fact that he has this bookshelf behind him, because we know that's what the smart people do. They put the bookshelves behind them, and it shows like, hey, look, I've read books before. So I'm impressed. Maybe I'll get some books behind me for the debate. So you guys tell me what you think. Should I move a bookshelf behind me, or should I sit in front of a bookshelf for this debate so I can counter how smart he is? I mean, I got a bunch of, you know, encyclopedias and stuff, and, you know, random college textbooks. Should I put them behind me for the debate? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments if you think I should do that, because we know that's what the smart people on TV do. So he's doing it himself.
He wanted to follow you, and then how did it get? Remember I said somebody in the audience wanted to follow you?
See, this is where the host is trying to figure out like where it went left. Like, because I liked the guy at the beginning, like I said, because I was naive. I had only watched him talk, and when you watch a pathological liar talk and a con man talk who's just spewing factual information, and it seems like he's a wealth of information, you can get deceived. So family, I was deceived. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this guy was the truth for a moment, but it's only because he was answering Chris Harris with all this like precise historical information, when in reality he was just spewing probably all sorts of inaccurate lies. So I was completely tricked. But now the host is like, I'm trying to figure out where we went left, and where we went left is when this guy decided to straw man me and lie and say, I said, which I already showed you, family. He said, I said, how can a majority be persecuted, when all I wrote was common sense, which I'm going to show him in the debate, is that 1 out of 250 million doesn't prove Christians are being persecuted. But he thinks it does. So that's going to be his angle in the debate. So it's going to be very interesting, family, if that's, you know, something he holds true to, because if he really thinks that's going to win the debate, I feel bad for the guy. I really do. I feel bad that his mathematical skills are so bad. Let's get a percentage on what 1 in 250 million is, family. Let's just look into this. I'm good at like smaller percentages. I'm real good at, but 1 out of 250 million. That's one I really can't do in my head. I'm not going to lie. You know, I'm really good at percentages, but 1 out of 250 million is, let's get the answer here. 250 million. No, that ain't it. I can't even figure out how to do this. 1 divided by 250 million. Nope, that's not enough. There's so many zeros in this. See, the problem is what messed me up, family, is the calculator saying E minus 9, 4.00 E minus 9. It's not even giving me a number, family. Like, I'm not used to seeing, I thought my calculator on my phone was broken or something because I'm not used to seeing this. This is a strange answer. Like, my calculator is barely giving me a correct answer. I don't really understand what this answer means. It's all right. Let me see what, my screen went blank. But yeah, the answers, I don't even know what it is. It's 4.000 E minus 9. It's like when you have the 10 the exponent, the 10 to the 20th power or something, how they do that for the solar system. Just type in 1 divided by 250 million, family. It won't even give you a decimal. It won't even give you a decimal. It's going to come out like 4.0 with a bunch of zeros, like 8 zeros, and then a letter E minus 9. So the math is so insane that I think it's exponent minus 9. I think that's what the E's got to stand for. I've never seen this before. I've never gotten a number so small where my calculator has given me E to the minus 9 I'm very confused. I didn't even it was so small, they couldn't even give me a decimal. So I hope he doesn't think that wins a debate, because what it does is it really breaks your calculator, family. It doesn't prove his point that Christians are being persecuted. What it does is it confuses us, because when we look at our calculators, we don't even see a decimal, because when you do a percentage, you usually get a decimal, like 1 in 100 would be 0.01, and like 1 in 1,000 would be 2 zeros. But there's so many zeros when you do 1 divided by 250 million that you just get 4.0 with a bunch of zeros, and then E, a letter to the negative 9. So I got confused. I apologize, family, but do it on your own calculator so you can see what I'm talking about. This guy's theory is so persuasive that it breaks your calculator. It breaks your calculator that one case is, Christians getting persecuted. So maybe he'll have 2 or 10 or 50 or 100. Maybe he could get a number that won't break my calculator when I divide it to get a percentage. Because I do want to show people a percentage, because I don't think he's going to have 1%. I don't think he's going to show us 2.5 million Christians, or if we go on the low end, because it said 250 million or 230 million. I don't think he's going to show me 2.3 million Christians getting persecuted in this country. And that would be 1%. So if 1% of the population was getting persecuted, I guess he might have a point. But when it's 4.0 and a bunch of zeros, and then you get the letter E to the negative 9, he's got to show me more than 1. So I look forward to doing some math with my friend Leondre. I hope he realizes, he did say a verbal contract, because it seems like he might be a lawyer or studying to be a lawyer. Like, he did say a verbal contract here. I hope DMG to profit, keeps him, close enough where he can't run away. And, we can just schedule this for some time next week, and then I'll tell you, family, and then he can go over to this channel and watch me, edify this guy and annihilate him and teach him about, what being persecuted really means. And if Christians in America are being persecuted in 2022, because I'm going to have to show them a little bit of history of what persecution actually is. I think I thought most of us knew these things, and, people died on crosses and so forth. But I guess I'm going to have to spend, one of my rounds or some of my rounds just helping them out a little bit. So that's some free advice for you, Leondre. I will help you out if you're unclear on the definition. If you need me to Google the definition of persecution, or if you're unsure of what you're actually trying to say is occurring, I'll help you out a little bit with some historical information. So please remember this for the debate. and I hope you can persuade us all. Hopefully you can, study some cases and bring up some Supreme Court rulings and, persuade the family that way, because I'm not going to give you any more of my information. I might do the debate without my bookshelf behind me. I'm still contemplating that, but I appreciate you finally accepting my challenge after an hour and 26 minutes, DeAndre. So thank you for that.
That was him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Listen, he may be trying to put a cross in my front. I don't know what his goal was. He want to follow me. What you trying to do? We're trying to do, man. Anyway, no, I'm y'all know I'm just talking crazy to the man, but no, I had no idea. He jumped in, and his comment was Christians are not being persecuted. And again, now
there we go. That was my comment. You are correct. That is what is reality in the world, and that was my comment.
The fact that I listed numerous examples of such, I listed numerous examples. Listen, you see how Bianca, you see how the same thing is being stated, and everybody who was up here just a second ago tried to point this out.
I thought we covered that though.
We did cover it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so
I'm trying to make sure he knows we are going to debate now, because he just finally agreed to a debate. So this is why I keep showing him the title, family, because I want him to just make sure it's clear to him that we are going to debate this title. This is the title of the debate. So if you're wondering, when it takes somebody that long to finally agree to debate you, you kind of worry. It's like when you finally get a fish on the hook, you're worried that fish is going to flop its way off the hook. And, I got this fish on my hook, so I didn't want to lose it. So I kept saying, like, they're saying we already covered this, but I guess it's just me kind of being like, hey, I got this. I know he's a slippery little fish. I want to keep him on my hook.
This should be some indication as to how we ended up here. But anyway, listen, go ahead. Listen, Pete, just, now you see what happened.
Yeah, we gonna see about this, because I thought we covered that, but okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, but anyway,
I liked him. He started with the straw man. Wow.
See, what he tried to do is he tried to weasel his way out of a debate with a bad rebuttal, and that's why the host was saying, like, I thought we covered this, because he gave that, answer like one of, if something happened once, it would prove it wrong, like with the golf clubs. And I guess, he convinced some of these guys, like, that might be an argument, but to me, that's not an argument. Like I said, if something breaks my calculator, I think it doesn't prove it. We're going to let the audience decide. DeAndre, next week, we're going to go for it. I'm going to end this video here because this is only 5 minutes left, and it's just pretty much me typing the same stuff. And, yeah, family, that was the video. So let me know, if you're interested in watching me debate. Astral Projections, my man's in the building. I wish I saw you earlier, friend. Damn, bro. I wish I had seen you earlier, my friend. I didn't see it because I'm on the other screen. I didn't see the comments. I could have had you jump on and do a commentary with me. But, yo, you got to get on that channel too. I don't know if you're still watching, bro. But you got to get on that. You got to get on that channel too. I'll hit you up about that. He's a good dude, man. Like I said, only God is good, but the guy's a fair moderator. That's what I'm saying. You guys understand what I'm saying. So, yeah, we're going to do this. I'm looking forward to it because I like debates. I haven't had many. I've, massacred Captain Tazariak and Captain Kataza, ISUPK, but that was a real short debate, and that was it. I've really not had many. I went on Sons of Thunder trying to get a debate set up, but it wasn't an actual formal debate. It was on their channel. And it was just a dialogue where they had a fake ass moderator, and we never got anywhere. I didn't get to read my information, so I had all these scriptures on the Trinity, and I had about 40 scriptures. I got to read about 5 of them in the time I spent on there, which was a couple hours. So that wasn't a real debate. They wouldn't agree to a real debate. They were just saying we'll talk on the channel. But anyways, yeah, I had a dialogue with Divine Prospect. Yeah, I'm new to the debates on the internet, but I'm always ready for debates because it's my personality. And I'm always trying to get information out, and I'm willing to debate any of these Hebrew Israelites. As you can see, I've had my challenges up on my channel for a while now, where I say, ask any Hebrew Israelite for 5 verses to prove they're an Israelite. That's been obviously an open challenge on my forum, and no Hebrew Israelites will accept it. So, I'm trying, family. The problem is I've been going after these fake Hebrew Israelites, and they don't want to debate. They're cowards, they know they're lying, so they don't want to debate you. So, I mean, it's hard to get debates when you know the people are cowards and they're lying. But this guy, Leondre, I finally got him. The host helped out a lot by posting all my comments. So it took an hour and 22 minutes, but he finally dug his own grave. So I don't know if any of you have a t-shirt business and you want to make some like RIP t-shirts for Leondre. You could call him Ponytail Guy, Arrogant Amateur. Maybe I'll change the title to Leondre just so everybody knows who I'm talking about. But I'll put it Arrogant Amateur Leondre. That'll be the title. I'll leave the adjective in there so people understand who he is, because they might get confused watching the video, because there was a couple guys that look like they might know what they're talking about on there, but then if they see Arrogant Amateur, they'll realize, oh wait, that was Leondre. That was the guy that was talking about Ryan Apologetics, like he could actually prove something and out debate him on the subject of are Christians being persecuted in 2022. See, what I'll say is I think the guy can debate. Like, I don't think he's like negligent in that regard. I think he can, because he can talk well, he can speak well, and he's smooth and he's charismatic and he's cracking some jokes. And like I said, he was deceiving me when I first started watching him, so I know he can trick some idiots in the audience for sure. But I guess he's one of those things where if you listen to him talk, like in the first 5-10 minutes, you'll think he's smart, but then after like an hour or two, you'll realize he's not. He's just a guy who sits in front of a bookshelf. So yeah, I already sent the email out, family, and we're just waiting for the date. But you saw the verbal contract Leondre accepted. So if he doesn't come through with this debate, I hope maybe I'll take legal action against him if he doesn't and sue him for breaking a verbal contract. I don't know. He would have to, tell me if that was against the law or not, what he said, how binding it was. I don't know. I think he's a lawyer or into law. He sounded like that was his career, but who knows? Again, he could have just been, saying stuff and trying to come across in a manner, because he obviously wasn't exactly forthright. But and Chris Harris, you also, my friend, if you ever want to debate, because you acted like Leondre is competent because he was talking to you tonight and you guys were buddy. Chris Harris, please, let's discuss, debate something on the Bible, my friend, because I really don't like the way you act, my friend. Your behavior is detestable. I'm not a fan of it. God have mercy on your soul. God have mercy on all our souls. But anyway, this is the whole video, family. The debate, I will let you know. Hopefully this guy doesn't back out. I'm praying he doesn't back out. I mean, it's not really a prayer I'm having, so don't think that I'm actually going to pray to God and hope this guy doesn't back out. But because I do want to be merciful, and that's why I tried to give him a couple outs during the video, but he didn't want them. He just wanted to stubbornly defend his position. But I don't know. I'm gonna try to find a supercomputer that can give me like a percentage on 1 divided by 250 million, because I don't know. It almost broke my cell phone calculator, I think. So I'm gonna try to find a supercomputer that will give me the math number on 1 divided by 250 million. Or I'm just gonna have to Google what the E stands for. I think it means exponent, probably. I'm assuming. But again, I've never seen a number that small, so I don't know if he's going to try to use like that limited of a sample size, like he said. If you took a math class, a sample size, if he's going to use that small of a sample size, I'm going to have to make sure I'm familiar with numbers that are that minuscule, because that's what he's going to have. as his information. So I'm going to make sure I do that. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope everybody comes to the debate. I hope everybody goes over to, Paradigm Shift 314 and just, likes it and subscribes now, because, it's free, family. Don't act like, subscribing to somebody's channels, something that costs you anything. It's just a nice thing to do, help other people out, especially people that seem like they're decent people. So, watch him for 15 minutes and see if you like how he, handles his channel. And again, just help people out, man. Everybody's trying to grow their channels and, reach a wider audience. And, if you can help people on the come up, it's just like if you were on the come up, they'd help you. So be kind, be gentle, be generous. I apologize for some of my contentious, pre-debate, jabs at the guy, verbal jabs, because, and it's like a boxing match where you get the, pre-match press conferences and things can get a little heated. You might say a couple things, as long as you don't cross the line and talk about people's families and so forth and, go that far, then it's good. Because if you watch that show, the reason I was a little hype in this video is because the way he was talking about me. So you could listen to him talk about me very like racially, like derogatory, he, like I said, just because I'm white, he called me every white dude that ever lived on earth. And it's like, if I pulled that shit with a black dude, it would be like cancel me tomorrow. You know what I mean? If I called him every black person that ever lived, come on, man. There's definitely hypocrisy in society when it comes to racism. So black people definitely can get away with a lot more racism towards white people than white people can get away towards black people. And that's just, it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. But he was going in on that. So that's why I kind of was like, all right, you're gonna, just be a racist and, make your jokes about me. All right, cool. I'm not gonna hold back on the Yokozuna ponytail you got going on there, buddy. You could go be a concubine for emperor in Japan or something if you want. You can put that pencil back in your hair. But anyways, Leondre, thank you for helping me to expose why you shouldn't make up lies and go on a channel. And then when somebody competent comes on the channel to help you, not rebuke, just end the situation there, right there. Just solve it, rebuttal it with, oh wow, that person's smarter than me, I should probably listen to them. But you could have done that, but you didn't do that. So now what happened was, like I said in the scriptures, pride comes before the fall. So your haughty spirit is going to come before your fall. So I look forward to seeing you fall on your own sword. And thank you for being the sacrifice. So we'll have to be sacrificing Leondre next time, this week, this time next week, excuse me. So thank you again for watching. God bless, family. And, I'll talk to you soon.